Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Excalibur Roundtable Tech Talk. I am Mike Fuson. This is part of our extended Roundtable Tech Talk series with our friends from ConnectNow. I'm joined by Ash Carr from ConnectNow. Ash, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to share one of the many exciting features. You'll have to catch up on all the exciting features on this Tech Talk series. But one of the very exciting features of ConnectNow is skills-based routing. And it's something that when we've talked about it, when you really think about a technician using a chat function and a customer, because your whole focus in the building of ConnectNow, the design of ConnectNow is really the customer experience. And as a customer, when I come in, I have the ability to tell you a little bit about what my problem is, and based on that, you have the platform has the ability to route that particular chat request to somebody with a proper set of skills. So we're not sending it to a first level service desk technician. I've got a question or a problem with the accounting system, and I don't even know what the accounting system is called. It likely is not going to get routed to me. It's going to get routed to somebody who can more effectively help me with what I'm doing. It's interesting because when we first had the opportunity to look at ConnectNow, a number of our team members who come from organizations where they had explored this type of technology in the past, a number of them were like, holy cow, as we were looking at chat technologies, this was a big hole, because it could come in randomly pretty much to anyone who's next in line to take a chat, and that really isn't the right person to potentially affect a solution. So it affects that customer experience. We want to get it over to someone who can help with it. And then we have other features and functions to be able to transfer chats and bring other people into chats, which we'll explore later. But we want to talk about skills-based routing. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Take it away. Talk to us a little bit about skills-based routing with ConnectNow.
Absolutely. So one of the main things that we've set out to achieve is to retain some sort of familiarity between IVR systems that agents are more than likely used to. And one of the obvious benefits you have there, you've already mentioned it, it's the ability to identify what the customer's problem is and get them through to somebody that can fix it. So ConnectNow does that in a pretty familiar way. If I just start showing my screen here, what we will start to see is the front-end interface for ConnectNow as a customer. And the example that we run through here is always an extremely simple example. But this form that we're looking at here can be as complicated as is required in order to identify the issue. What we often find, though, is that the less that you ask a customer, the better, because people aren't willing to fill out enormous forms. And a lot of the time, it is as simple as follows, where you simply provide a couple of questions that says, what's the nature of your query? Somebody could ask for a password reset, issue with remote access. And as I click through these options, we will see some of the other features start to kick in. But what we're particularly interested in here is the filling out of this form. Customers can type a brief description. So I need help setting up the VPN on my iPad, something like that. And when I now join the queue, what we will see from an agent perspective is that this chat has been identified as a remote access query. And I, as an agent, can see all of the skill sets that I am associated with on the left-hand side. So there's two things to talk about here. The customer has been routed through to what we like to refer to as a subject matter expert, somebody that's very likely to be able to fix this user's problem. And the agent is always aware of the type of chats that they might be handling, whereas sometimes on an IVR system, the agent may not be aware. And they could be caught out by a chat that they're not expecting. Perhaps they don't have the right applications open to do that support. Perhaps they need to remote onto a workstation somewhere else. And the problem there, of course, is that it causes a delay. Customers have to wait while that agent gets set up. So that's skills-based routing with ConnectNow.
And where this changes the game for so many customers is the ability to, assign to various technicians the skill sets that they're able to take care of, as
Hmm.
well as the ability to ensure that that incoming chat is routed to somebody who can effectively chat about that particular problem, chat about that
Absolutely.
particular challenge. And so that customer experience is not, okay, well, let me now get you over to someone else. It's not the, you know, let me transfer your call game. Although we may get deep enough into it where we need, a higher level capability, and so and those capabilities also exist within ConnectNow. We're going to explore those in turn, um, but it's about that customer experience, and being able to service that customer effectively, and have them feel very comfortable. And also, one of the things that you've talked about in previous sessions is really lowering some of that stress or burden on the technician as well. I'm not going to get hit with a bunch of stuff that I don't have the foggiest idea uh, about, because no one technician in most organizations can know everything
Hmm.
to a decent level about every system that's there. And we see it all the time. And we've talked about, how this parallels our normal day-to-day operations within a service desk, and service desk technicians. There's no service desk manager that expects every one of their agents to be able to know everything about everything. We're masters of many things, and we've got some depth, more depth than might be average in certain things, and then there's other things that we have extreme depth in. A lot of times, just by happenstance, I was the one that dug into that, and now all of a sudden I'm the expert in that because I've dealt with a couple of challenging problems. But we expect everybody to know how to reset a password, and basic
Yes.
things, right? Those are easy. But when you start getting into it, and we start to look at how things have shifted for organizations with work from home. And so your example was, I want to set up VPN on something. Well, that's a lot more common now than it was a year ago.
Mm.
People weren't VPNing into a ton of stuff in many cases. And now all of a sudden, folks that had never, we've seen this in a few of our clients, people had never worked from home are now working from home, and they now have these various challenges, and they've read the knowledge article. They're capable, IT folks, even very capable folks, and they just, for whatever reason, the VPN isn't functioning well for them, and they need some help. And being able to get to the right, you think about the day-to-day worker who never has had to use a VPN ever, maybe in their entire career, so they don't even know. They know VPN's a thing, but what is it and how does it work and how do I get my computer connected to it, and all of those sort of things. It's an important thing. And even though for the most part we're over the hump on getting everybody into the systems, I'm still seeing it today in interactions that I have where there's now little problems with the VPN. The VPNs are doing a lot more work than they did previously, and there's little nuances, little issues, and and you start looking at people working from home. Now you've got everybody's home internet, everybody's things that are going on. I looked at when the kids went back to school for us. What's the speed of my internet? Because all of a
Mm.
sudden there's now 5 people doing video on my internet, where during the daytime there was, if somebody was working at home, if I was working from home, it was me. So I had all the bandwidth in the world available to me because there's not much else going on. And now all of a sudden I have, a daughter doing her graduate classes online, and a son doing his high school classes online. And, my wife also has to do whatever she's doing, online meetings and whatnot. And all of the different connections and challenges that go on. So this gives us the ability to have that other channel of support where they don't have to sit on hold up for a phone call. They can
Mhm.
leverage chat if that's something that they prefer and that they're comfortable. Again, that customer experience, we're giving them options in how they communicate with us and how they interact with us. But skills-based routing gets me, when I'm asking for help, to the right person. And that's so exciting. So, Ash, thank you for joining us. I think this is one of the linchpins of what makes ConnectNow so different than many other chat platforms that are out there is the ability to do the skills-based routing. And we look forward to being able to share this and demo this for you, our audience. Reach out to us, get a demo. I think you're going to be really blown away at the difference that this can make for your organization. So join us again for another edition of the Excalibur Roundtable Tech Talk. We'll have Ash with us again as we explore more capabilities of the ConnectNow platform. Ash, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you soon.